Hi, I'm Ayla, and my sister Amira has a learning disability. She's presented with it since birth, but as she contracted encephalitis at around 6 years old, it could have further impacted her cognitive development. To be clear, encephalitis is a serious condition where your brain becomes inflamed, and it can be fatal. For Amira, this meant she had to stay at Alder Hayes Children's Hospital in Liverpool to get better. She was put on a ventilator and was there for a few months. So, my mum left me with my grandma and moved into the Ronald McDonald House. This is a house paid for by charity money, which means that families who don't live nearby can be near their children whilst they're in hospital. It was such a scary time for our family and Amira. It took her nearly 2 years to properly recover, and she had to relearn to walk and talk. My mum says I found Amira's new self frightening, as she was different, especially in the hospital environment. I'd never seen so many wires and tubes around before, but luckily, my sister's well now. It's important to know that Amira's disability is hidden, as she looks and acts like most other teenage girls. She's funny, sassy, loves to do her makeup, and is always squabbling with me because I tell her to turn her music down whilst I'm trying to sleep. If you were to walk past her on the street, you wouldn't know she has a learning disability, nor would you understand the challenges she sometimes had to face. This is the case for many people in the UK, though. Did you know 1 in 5 people in the UK have some sort of disability, 80% of which have a hidden disability? Learning disabilities can be hidden disabilities, which is one of the reasons why they're quite misunderstood. But also, because learning disabilities are like an umbrella, they're not one concrete thing. They can present differently in everyone. Skills and abilities that we might take for granted can be challenging for Amira, such as taking a bus ride, riding a bike, learning to swim, or even budgeting a shopping trip, which is important for her. She's always shopping. Amira's learning disability, though, is one of the reasons why she's a role model to me. Because to overcome some of the challenges she's had to face, she's developed strong resilience and determination. When others might have already given up, she's still learning, progressing, and trying. But also, despite the negativity that she can receive for her disability, she's remained true to herself. She's always so energetic and funny. Some of Amira's key strengths are her willingness and resilience for tasks. For example, she may struggle to join in with complex conversation, since she struggles to process lots of information and keep up the flow. She benefits from it being a topic such as zodiac signs and astrology, which she knows a lot about and has all the language to hand. New topics can be difficult for her, so she needs people to explain at a slower pace and give her time to understand it. She navigates around this by trying to engage people to talk about topics she is familiar with, but also by learning ways into conversation, such as giving out compliments or finding an area of common interest. This just shows how much more resilient she is compared to me. Everywhere we go, she's always saying how nice people's nails or hairstyles are. In a way, my family would say she's more sociable than me. She instantaneously warms to people, and they her, especially since she's quick-witted and not afraid to be herself. Whereas, I would say more of a slow burner, who doesn't exude the same confidence and energy as her. However, Amira can struggle with things that I might find simple, such as telling the time, coordination, or money skills. So, our family and her school help her to do things through adaptation. They are one of the key reasons why she is able to thrive. We give her equity so that she can have a fair chance in society. Things will still be harder for her, so she still has to be more resilient. However, with adaptations, it means things that could sound impossible for her can become plausible. For example, at her school, a lot of the maths that is taught is more relevant to her life, such as telling the time or budgeting money. For Amira to thrive, she doesn't need to learn trigonometry, as she wouldn't understand it and she probably wouldn't use it. But the maths she has learned has helped her to feel more independent and included within society. This just shows how through long-term progression, through resilience and determination, she's been able to develop her skills. Also, her school has provided lots of opportunities, such as an adapted Duke of Edinburgh award, travel training, entry levels and life skills. This is because her school has a tenacious approach to allowing students to overcome obstacles to learning, which helps them to thrive. One of the opportunities, as said before, was entry levels. This is because Amira won't be able to pass a GCSE, as it would be too hard, so her school made her do entry levels. Entry levels are the right balance of challenging and achievable. She's had to work hard to pass them, but the knowledge needed to pass them has not been out of her reach. For her, they're as hard as what I might find on a GCSE paper. But by being given the opportunity to do entry levels, she's been given equity by her school, as she now has certificates that can help her in life. This is so different to when she briefly tried 2 mainstream primary schools. She was given one-to-one support, which was inclusive. However, she was away from everyone in her class. She couldn't join in or participate, nor could she hit the class attainment grades. The inclusivity, even with good intent, ended up making her feel left out and different. When she joined her current SEND school, though, she was able to quickly integrate with people she could relate to. Her classes were grouped with ability as much as possible, and progress was on an individual basis. She's loved this school and how it's helped her to grow, not only academically, but socially, emotionally, and in confidence. Similarly to school, Amira struggled to meet the challenges of mainstream swimming. So she joined a multi-disability swimming club in Blackpool, where she could learn at her own pace and compete against others with similar challenges. She took part in the Special Olympics, and she even got trophies. It's so important that Amira gets to compete on a level playing field. For fairness, really. Once again, raising the issue of equity versus equality. Also, another way her school has provided opportunities for adaptation in order to give her equity is by providing her with a travel trainer. You may be wondering what a travel trainer is. So first I ask the question, can you confidently catch and ride a bus? Many of you listening will probably be thinking, well, of course I can, it's not that hard. But if you think about the bus timetables, routes, and actually getting to the bus stop, it can seem more complex. Amira's not good with time, nor navigating the bus transport app. So getting a travel trainer was really important for her. This is because a travel trainer is basically someone who targets support to an individual to enable them to travel as independently as possible. Having a travel trainer has made her feel so much more comfortable with a disability. As sometimes she'll ask me things like, why can't I be like you? Or why can't I be mainstream? This growth in independence from travel training has been a source of confidence and strength for her, especially when those around her may seem more advanced. But not just that, hearing your sister say those sorts of things is so sad, as a disability is not a bad thing, nor is it something she can change. It doesn't mean we can't have a lot of the same opportunities. For instance, we've both been doing the Duke of Edinburgh Award in both bronze and silver, and let's just say, I don't find them pretty easy. So the fact Amira's doing an adapted version at a school is pretty impressive. My sister has helped to inspire me so much throughout my life. She shows me not to take things for granted and to be more resilient. It's easy for everyone to underestimate what we're capable of. So when I see Amira doing things I didn't realise she could do, it makes me think about my own capabilities and work ethic. I hope that this talk has made you realise your own skills and abilities and how proud you should be of them. But I also want you to think, how have you gotten to where you are today? When have you struggled, and when have you been helped to overcome them? Because people struggle all the time, whether you have a learning disability or not. So if you see someone struggling, try to show them empathy rather than judgment. You never know what someone's going through, or whether they have a disability. Just think, you could have walked past me in a mirror and have not have even considered that one of us has a learning disability. Thank you for listening.